The adventurers enter the town. Children gather around the player characters, grabbing their hands, drawing them towards the music that seems to have everyone in a jovial enjoyment, listening to the sounds. Maybe there's a festival going on. An open arena is there, and people are moving their legs, arms, their bodies moving rhythmically to a dance that the player characters are unaware of, but they're drawn in slowly, and just because of the festive nature, they start learning the dance moves and understand that their participation is drawing them into this community, making them one of their own. So today we are going to talk about the day of dance. So, guys, after the little intro, let's get ready to talk about how we can add dance and yet another aspect of entertainment to our tabletop role playing games. Well, hello, creatives, community, and kind folks. Welcome to RPG with DBJ. I am your host, DBJ. And for you guys in the chat, sorry to hear about that, Vince. Yeah, it seems to be something going around. Even my own job, there's like, not in this household, but it's yeah, here in Ohio Valley, it's starting to spread itself again. The old 19. Ugh. You guys are so silly. And I like what you put up here. There's a dance quote here. I want to say it's biblical, but I've never seen it before there, Vince, but it's pretty cool. Thomas Anderson, you're so crazy. Yeah. So day of dance, time to show self-humiliation. Yeah, exactly. So um dance, like music and many other things, tends to be extremely cultural, but when used as a backdrop for a storytelling, can be pretty interesting. Of course, you've got the embarrassment of wanting to stand up and dance in the first place in front of a bunch of people, and knowing that you may not be as uh, rhythmically in tune with everyone else. There's also the idea of engaging in a physical activity that is well outside of any kind of physical activity you're used to, and even just a simple Google search of the types of dance. I mean, there's so many. Oh, I didn't even put this up here. I guess I could share it. It doesn't really matter. But there's so many different types of um, dance and their representation in the wider sphere of culture, that you can really separate one culture from another just by some common dances, whether it's a party atmosphere and people gathering together, whether it's a matter of showing the type of skill that a particular group of people have in honor. Like there's a big difference between, say, a ballet and hip hop dancing versus, like, say, maybe oh, I don't know, like a a gathering of people who do like a particular step dance. I mean, there's even music. There's even musical songs that the song itself tells you the maneuvers you're supposed to do while you're doing the song. And of course, there's many songs that have a dance to them as well. So we have that. I mean, just in this simple list here, we've got, although I think some of it is a little, it flows over each other, but we've got hip hop dance, ballet, ballroom, swing, uh, cha cha cha, foxtrot, folk dancing, bolero. I believe the, the I believe that was in a Mission Impossible movie. We've got, of course, tap dance and modern dance, street dancing, waltz, belly dancing, Latin dance, quick step. Uh, And then there's of course all subcategories of all of these things: jazz, contemporary, Argentine tango, breakdancing, samba, rumba, swing music, mambo. I mean, if just click like street dancing, then you can start to break that down into so many other types. So, and I'm sure this list here, and this is just the very first Google search. I'm sure this is about probably a tenth of the world's types of dances and things like that. So, yeah, pretty interesting. Um, when I eat, yeah, yeah, that's how we do it in the streets, right? Yeah, I can already tell somebody's going to get served, which is pretty funny, right? Like, a lot of the the dance movies and things are like, yeah, I'm gonna challenge you on the dance floor, right? What's the oh the dance, the not too dance from the movie RRR was kind of like a throw down the street, like, oh, you think you can dance? Of course, you got the a hole who's like, that's not dance, this is dance, and of course he starts to talk about all these other dances that basically were stolen from other people, which is pretty ironic, the thing like, you don't know, you brown buggers don't know how to dance, right? And it's like you're rolling your eyes like, oh my god. But yeah, believe you me, which I can't play, the Natu Naatu dance from RRR, you will walk away exhausted from that thing. Yeah. It's the song Lord of the Dance, the Irish tap dance. Yeah, it's like and even that, like, there's you can start to break dances down to movement of the feet just itself, the Irish styled river dance tap dance version versus like the rhythmic stomping. I want to say it's in bolero. Then there's like tap dancing, and then there's, I mean, it's crazy. Vince says, oh, the quote above is, it tells the story of Jesus as a dancer. That is awesome. I love that. You don't often, at least in my neck of the woods, you don't often hear that. Um, Religion and joyful expression, I guess. Also, you are the true lord of the dance, no matter what those idiots at work say. You're Weird Al, yeah. It's from the Dublineers. Did not know that. Mm-mm-mm. When I Heathen says, also, I vaguely recall there was a mass hysteria in the Middle Ages in France called the dancing sickness. And Vince says, yes, people danced until complete exhaustion. Some even died. What? What? Ah, yes. I absolutely am on the same page with their so the member of Shy Squad says, how about never spending a thought to learn a single dance move in your whole life, for the ecstatic method is the only manifestation of true divinity. So for those who don't know, and I'm sure many of you do, that there's this idea of being in touch with the divine, and that your body begins moving. There is no conscious effort in what you're doing. Your body just moves through, essentially channeling the spirit of divinity through your body. And so then just start to move erratically, spasmodically, like ecstatic. Your body is just for lack of a better word, one of um, those things that are on used car salespeople put these out in front of the thing, and the air blows in them, and they just blow around and stuff. Sometimes you run around, sometimes you just body just moves and everything. Yes, and here in the States, apostolic, and there's another one or two other Christian uh, religions that have that as a part of like speaking in tongues. Sometimes is with that. Some people pass out from the touch with the divine. Yeah, breakdancing, tap dancing, 80s breakdancing movies. Yeah. Uh, TA says even the Adams family had the mom shuka. Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny how really don't even add dance, and there might even be like uh fantastical monsters and cultures that have a dance. Maybe there's literally a monster that moves. We think of the cobra as a and even maybe even the rattlesnake um as an animal that moves in a rhythmic manner to before it strikes. And we humans attach a thing to it like it's moving rhythmically to hypnotize us, where it probably is just trying to zero in correctly. Sometimes when large cats get ready to pounce, or even our cats in our houses get ready to pounce, they do that thing where they like crouch down, but their rear end kind of rises up and it kind of moves about rhythmically and such. So yeah, there's even things like that. There's some even animals that just, again, with prey or mating seasons, a lot of dance is pulled from the mating activities of animals and such, and they'll prance around. They will they will like jump in the air or do backflips and spread their wings and feathers or things like that. Shai says Jesus was a dancer. Sweet, that's going to be fun to talk about when I'm in Kentucky. Yeah, they're not going to want to hear that thing. Dance, dance is illegal, right? Samar says today is the day of dance, and in honor of winemaking, let it be a day where there is a traditional dance on a specific fruit in a container, the liquid if which is collected and fermented for wine. Absolutely, right? you know um how many times have we seen in celebrations with food and drink and gatherings and some live music, and you carve yourself out a little dance floor, people stand up and they start to like they feel good and they want to express that in their body and they get together. And then of course you have line dancing is a great thing that people do together, where it's like, oh, it's a two step, it's a 1 2 3 twist, move, dip here, and then that becomes passed down either just through osmosis. People go out to the pub and the club and they see people doing this same dance over and over, and you're like, maybe one day I'll join in it. Or your friends are like, snatch you up from a table, like, you're going to join us anyway, whether you feel like it or not. Drew says my setting Vinestance is named after that dancing madness. Ooh, I'm going to look that up. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. Gotta share this out. Yeah. um, now, I'm sure this is only a small part of it, but I'm sure it goes even further. All right, so, and again, this is just a Google search, so I don't know how true it is or not. But dancing mania, also known as dancing plague, choromania. Wow, like choreography. Choromania, St. John's dance, Tarantism, and Saint Vitus or Vitus dance was a social phenomenon that occurred primarily in mainland Europe between the 14th and 17th centuries. It involved groups of people dancing erratically, sometimes thousands at a time. And then there, yep, and you guys mentioned Dancing Plague of 1518. There's also something on the History Channel. Mm-mm-mm-mm. The Dancing Plague of 1518, or Dancing Epidemic, was a case of dancing mania that occurred in Strasbourg, um, Alsace, or modern day France, in the Holy Roman Empire. The outbreak began in 1518 when a woman called Frau Trophea began to dance fervently in a street in Strasbourg. Trophea kept up the constant dancing for a week. Soon, 3 dozen others joined in. By August, the dancing plague had claimed 400 victims. Dancers were beginning to collapse. It is said some even died from a stroke or heart attack. No one knew what caused this reaction, which meant no one understood how to remedy it. By early September, the outbreak began to subside when the dancers were sent to a mountain shrine to pray for absolution. Historical documents, including physicians' notes, cathedral sermons, local and regional chronicles, and even notes issued by the Strasbourg City Council, are clear that the victims danced. It is not known why. Historical sources agree that there was an outbreak of dancing after a single woman started dancing, and the dancing did not seem to die down. It lasted for such a long time that it even attracted the attention of the authorities until the council gave up authority to the physicians who prescribed the afflicted to dance themselves free of it. There are claims that guild halls were refurbished to accommodate the dancing, as well as musicians and strong people to help keep those dealing with the dancing mania to stay upright. This backfired, and the council was forced to ban public dancing as people danced in fear it was a punishment from Saint Vitus. And to be free of sin, many joined in on the dancing epidemic. Wow. Wow. Awesome. Well, we learned. Okay, yeah. The Shai says the dancing sickness. I think that was ergotism, getting poisoned with bad bread. And yeah, Vince brings up and of course the dancing plague of 1518. When I hear this, oh my God, not to, it's Bollywood gold. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Yeah. I would have showed off so bad. Yeah. Mm-mm-mm. TA says also interpretive dance is always more interesting when it involves swords. Yeah, there's even there's some martial aspects to dance as well. The what has in Japanese martial arts katas or forms, there are martial forms used with weapons and such that when performed very much mimic dance moves in the sense of mimicking doing correct forms in a pattern that is like that blends the I'm being attacked by multiple combatants into forms that are very beautiful to watch. So yeah, I think it's a yeah. Druden says RR is technically not really Bollywood, but one of the other regions of India. I believe they it's called Tollywood. Um, the Tamil people. It's like Southeast India, something like that. Mm-mm-mm. Vince, oh, I didn't even see your comments there, Vince. Sorry, Vince puts out the put the information in chat. Yeah, stress-induced mass hysteria. Now, okay, Pentecost do the rolling around on the floor and shaking. Yes, as well. Yeah, apostolic here in the States, Pentecostals. Yep. And let's be clear without, of course, making fun, because that's not what our point is. But this could absolutely be a symptom of a greater incident that's happening in the world, for good or bad, in your world building. I mean, do are on the weekends do people engage in this kind of dance, and this the player characters are like, wait a minute, we've seen this movement before. Is it the snake gods or something like that? Is this dance being used to appease them? Is this a dance that honors the great war against the I don't know the I don't know the hypnotic witches or something from 5 generations ago, or is it just people having fun? And I could see a dance that goes on for months and months at a time being very fey induced. That's something like really crazy fey creatures would do, right? To get people dance. But for those who don't know, I'm a man of a certain age. Anybody remember Otterluke's um dance? I'll do a search for it. But yeah, there was a uncontrollable dance spell, and there were a number of spells by Adaluk, I believe, that had people acting in outrageous manners and methods and things like that. And I could see a hypnotic adversary doing something like this, Pied Piper style. Hey, they start dancing and everybody else starts dancing with them. A good way to reflavor, reflame, I mean, reflavor, repurpose, recontextualized, like hypnotism or paralysis or something like that. That the person gets caught up in it and they just start dancing and such. There's even I was going to say Black Mirror episode. I'm sorry. There's Love, Death, and Robots episode of a water nymph that charms people. She's dancing in the water, and the water nymph causes the warriors, knights, or whatever that are in the woods to begin dancing uncontrollably with their weapons and such. Anyway, our co-hosts here have to say, Zamara, let the wine dance be a week-long festival, with the dance being done once every other day, and Liquid collected the next, with a different generation dancing and collecting each day. I like that. I like that a lot. Different generations of a population, and maybe even maybe different dances based on the age. Like maybe there's like a waltz style dance for your older the elders, but then by the time you get to young people, it's closer to like hip hop, capoeira dancing, and things like that. Yeah, or whatever. Maybe there's a different dance from the guilds versus a different dance from uh, the religious institutions, and each day is a day of this where you're like gathering wine, and the next day you dance it off. Yep. Yep, snake charmers are also doing a type of dance. Maybe like we talk about somatic components for magic, and oftentimes it's like hand symbols or whatnot. But it absolutely, positively could be kata, right? It's you're there's a Marvel superheroes character villain named Spiral, who's a lady with multiple arms, and she has all when she was first introduced by the artist Art Adams, she was always drawn as dancing. And with her six arms and magic and different forms, she would move, and her name being Spiral, she would spin and dance ballet like and to cast magic. And why wouldn't there be magic where you see someone doing like almost a Tai Chi styled movements to cast magic, using their arms and body to spin and control the magic, to weave around them to, Haruken or something. TA says, ergot or ogre poisoning would cause the person to burn up from the inside out. Still no cure as far as I know, and it grows mostly on rye bread and is the source for lysergic acid for Hoffman's artificial LSD. Ooh, hey, why? Who's to say that uncontrollable dancing isn't a thing the players need to solve? People start dancing uncontrollably. They're like, "Hey, we're family members bursting out the front doors to join in the dancing," and they're like, "You need to stop this." And the PCs are like, "Why?" It looks like everyone's having fun until people start passing out and heart attacks and strokes and things like that. And it's like, oh, we got to stop. And all of a sudden, one of the player character's foot starts tapping to some type of internal music. You're like, oh no. Oh. Zamara continues and says, seventh day rest, of course, and that's how the world and its people were made. The gods footloosed. I love that. I kind of like that. Like each day could belong to like a certain sect of the gods. Day 4, the day the gods made the earth. Day 7, the way the gods made the skies and, and the oceans, or you know what I mean? Like yeah. I mean, it could be a world creation kind of thing. Um, and this is fantasy, so some people might say it might be borrowing a little too heavily from the Bible, but world creation has always been a fantastical thing. I mean, what was it? Dwarves were literally forged from, uh, you know, uh, taken out of soil, made from clay, fire burned in the forge, and then placed on the earth. And if that was real, then the fact that some deities dance the world into creation isn't far from it's not a big leap. Oh, snakes are very sensual, so yeah, I can see where a fantasy culture or any real world culture would have a snake dance. And mind you, um again, dance can be anything. There's okay, please, please, YouTube, don't ding me on this. So we have dances that are foot related. The Irish dance, tap dance, the rhythmic stomping dances, but there's also dances with hands, like street whacking, where the hands do lots of motions. There's even something in hip hop called tutting, which is like it's like animation, but you're using complex forms with your hands to form complex shapes. And especially if you have a dance crew, you can get two or more people to get together to do the tutting. So there can be um, different aspects of a fantasy culture could represent different things. Snakes could be using the body. The hands could be very rhythmic in terms of representing the arcane signs of elements and like true names or something. The movement of the legs and from the waist and below could represent the different, one's swamp, one's desert, one's mountain, things like that. Spiders do it. Oh, when I Ethan says spiders do a mating dance. Yep, there's a lot of animals that do mating dances. So do mooses and deer and rams and such too. Although I don't know how many people want to smack their head against somebody else, but you know there is like a stage diving kind of thing. So I guess there is that. Thought sure that dancing issue was mass hysteria as people who saw them dancing would get swept up into it and suffer along with them. I believe there was probably a lot of that too. Says, I love a wine dance. The people would maybe believe that the wine is infused with the high spirits of the dancers. Why not? Maybe they're, I mean, this doesn't even need to be magical. People just believe that, drinking the wine, it just pulls you into it. That if you release it is literally the release of any conscious thought and just letting yourself become the animal, the lizard brain part of you, and get pulled into it. I think that's probably, I believe that probably had a lot to do with it too. Vince says, I think there's a theory that most dances are derived from mating rituals. And of course we don't have to have, okay, let me too many thoughts in my head. One is um romance and sex often is not a part of our role playing experience, but maybe dance is a great middle ground for us before we fade to black to like, oh, those two are dancing. Oh, I'd like to dance with that person who might be my betrothed. Oh, hey, I got an interest. Hey, would you, sitting at the tavern bar, hey, would you like to dance? And then go off and dance. And that could be the euphemism of oh, they're going to go copulate or whatever, right? And and we've seen dances that are very, uh, where we know those two are going to hook up, but they're dancing at a distance, right? It's the school dance kind of thing, or the rhythmic dance where they're away from each other, and then soon they start to get closer, and that could be a really fun, simple way to include in a role playing game. The tribes person that has an interest in one of the player characters, and they say, hey, would you like to dance? And then they show them this new rhythmic dancing that's based on um I don't know, giant wolf spiders out in the jungle or something, and the PC is like, I've never done this before, and everyone is like, oh, you guys are dancing. Oh yeah, they're gonna go dance all night. you know and that's really been a euphemism to say that, and that might be an easy one off, right? Yeah, Vince says in Avatar: The Last Airbender, they learned a new type of fire bending by imitating the dance of the dragons. Yep, yep, yep. Absolutely, I love that. Yeah. Oh, the One Piece. I haven't seen that. Mm-mm. Yeah, a good fighter also learns dancing faster in both footwork is essential. Absolutely. And a lot of martial arts have been considered dance. Actors who are taught fight choreography often talk about the fact that fight choreography is like a dance, and you need to be in a particular position so that the people who become the cannon fodder, because they have to do their dance moves so that everyone is safe and things like that. Yeah. When I Heathen says, "Oh, I love sword dances. The Cossack sword dances are my favorite." Yes. Let's see if I can find some sword sword dancing types. Let's see if we can get different sword dance. Share this tab instead. Da, da, da. Sword dancing. Also, sword dancing, dancing with weapons. The idea of the dance with weapons is also a very peacetime kind of thing. It doing martial maneuvers as a dance, a performative dance, also kind of tells other people, like, you know what? Me and my people, we're badasses. Let's see you get on the dance floor and see what you can do. And when it's done with weapons and such, it can be very, it can. It's a peacetime method to prove a thing, just like gladiator combat and other challenges, one-on-one challenges and things like that. But sword dancing, incorporating dances incorporating swords or other similar weapons are recorded throughout world history. There are various traditions of solo and mock battle or pyrrhic, uh, yeah, pyrrhic sword dances from Africa, Asia, and Europe. Some traditions use sticks or clubs in place of bladed weapons, while most modern performers employ dulled replications to avoid injury. Yeah, the dulled weapons. There's like the Chinese sword dancing, um, where the weapons flex. They have a sound and flex. In India, Kalari Payat, they use like these long whip-like swords. So anyway, forms. General types of sword dance include solo dancers around swords, such as the traditional Scottish sword dancers. This general form also encompasses non-sword dances, such as the Baka pipes, jig, and Cotswold Morris dance. And then there's mock battle dances, yep, including many stick dances from non-sword traditions. And then there's also hilt and point sword dances, where the dancers are linked together by their swords in a chain. These form the basis for rapper sword and long sword forms. Yep, I've seen that before as well. And we've seen like uh, very hypnotic sword dancing, where someone uses like a twin sword and spins them, these double swords in these hypnotic patterned movements. Let's see, India, yeah, Middle East, lots of curved sword type of thing. Europe, it's a gallery of things, and that's just on Wikipedia. And then if I go back, let's get some images here. And right here, different types of individuals doing sword dancing. And Vince says, "Yeah, but by the way, DBJ, if you really don't know Lord of the Dance, do yourself a favor and watch the performance. It's all inspiring." Oh no, no, no! I've seen both Lord of the Dance and River Dance. I remember way back in like the '80s or something. There was like a split, but it's incredible to watch. Yes, especially when it builds and stuff. Yeah. When I heathen says maybe the god of dance is getting tired of being overlooked for war gods, healing gods, protection gods, and wants to take over. That, you know what? Yeah, some of these, like, I don't want to say minor god. Well, let's say I'm a victim. So I'm calling them I'm calling them minor gods, second tier, third tier gods, demigods and such. And they're just like, everyone's war and death and darkness and fire. But what about the rest of us? Like the god of the hearth, god of dance, the gods of wine, the gods of simple things, like very communal things. And maybe they're like, you know what, we should stick together and do this. And they're like, yeah, god of dance. It's like, we're gonna, yeah, Otto's irresistible dance. And I think there's some other Otto's magic. um are there other Otto's irresistible dance? And someone asked, what is the movement of Otto's irresistible dance? Choose one creature that you can see within range. The target begins a comic dance in place, shuffling, tapping its feet, and capering for the duration. Creatures that can't be charmed are immune to this spell. Mm-mm-mm. Very cool. Otto's Irresistible Dance, song by Lock and Load. Ooh. Can't play that, but that's funny. Sorry, looking at some other people making comments about the spell. Mm-mm-mm. But they say some people are saying it's kind of weak for a sixth level spell. Anyway, yeah. Funny, funny, funny. All right, so let's see. How about a mass hysteria dancing incident due to thousands of people being nervous as hell because their king is engaged in two proxy wars at once? Yeah, maybe there's dancing for an anti-war could be a thing. I know there are Slaanesh demons in Warhammer 40K that can't stop dancing. Yeah, yeah. Children of the Mind by Orson Scott Card, I'm not a writer, had a religious culture who danced to hear the voice of their god. It was fixed with a cure to a disease. They were not happy. Now that's a very that is very interesting. Like something external could get these people to dance. Fake creatures in their wine or something, right? And then the PC stop it, and the people are pissed because they're like, "We were happy doing that." And you're like, "Guys, you were dancing for like weeks now." Like, so Shai says, "Oh, Love, Death, and Robots." Yeah, you just says, "I just released a song about that 3 days ago." That's sweet. Yeah, it was. Let's see. And robots. Which was the one? The yeah, Jabaro images. There we go. That's the intro images to the animated part of that one where the water nymph very very lethal water nymph charms the onlookers, and the one guy is deaf and can't hear, and so he can't hear the song and doesn't start dancing and stuff until later. How about a cult of dance starts How about a cult of dance starts, but it's not a cult of a god so much as a cult with a devil may care philosophy in response to unbearable living conditions? I like that. I, why not? Why wouldn't I mean? Listen, fantasy worlds. We're a bit too addicted to our post apocalyptic, grim dark kind of thing. Why wouldn't there be a cult that's like anti-darkness cult? Not dark appeasement cult that's like, hey, you know what? Maybe we should just dance to, hey, maybe we're just going to give a little bit of a joy and pulling people away from the important work that they're doing, whether they're indentured servants or warriors or philosophers or whatever, and pulling them the way to start dancing in the streets or something. It's still disruptive, right? Even today, if the middle of a highway there were thousands of people dancing in the middle of a highway and block traffic, it would draw the attention of the authorities. It really would, because it would be cute until it's not, and then that's where you start to get the dark, the the bright cloud, and you start to get the darkness that rolls in after it. Like, wait, people really are, like, they're really not stopping. This isn't a joke anymore. And so that would be pretty interesting. I love it. When I Heathen says, "Ooh, I love a system of magic that requires the characters dance. It'd be maybe a form of barding magic." Well, we technically that already exists. Not so mechanical, but a player, we have verbal, somatic, and material components. And somatic components can be body movement. If you're not able to move, if your arms and hands and legs aren't free, and you could just have a little chart, like pick one. Your both hands must be free, both legs must be free, something like whatever the case may be. I mean, bardic magic absolutely to me, I never think of bards as being limited to the lute, the lyre, the harp, right? A flute. It's bards to me are artists of all types, of all cultures, which kind of bothers me because it's like the word paladin and the word bard, the word monk, kind of hyper focuses the concept of that creative thing down into a narrow thing where there are storytellers, and dance has been used to emulate the actions of animals and people. To dance is storytelling, and I remember there was a dance show. So you think you can dance is a dance show, and I remember watching one performance about there were two dancers emulating during Halloween, because we're getting close to that, emulating a woman running away from a killer, and it was really fun to watch how they did this thing where she's being stalked and moving away from them, but they're dancing together and such. Yeah, it was really good, and dance could absolutely positively be a bard that just dances and doesn't make music. They dance to make a thing happen. Of course, that sounds perfect. The bard dances as if they are on fire, and then it causes fire. They dance seductively to draw a creature to them, and they charm them. A bard, dances and sways rhythmically in a type of peace and tranquility, as if it's a soft breeze or something. And then, of course, they heal someone. Yeah. Vince says maybe there are monsters you can only defeat when you learn a specific dance because you can dodge its attacks. um, oh, what's the movie? Oh, Equilibrium. Equilibrium. The learn the martial moves with two handguns, two high tech handguns, and if you learn these moves from all gun combat, you can take out your enemies because you know exactly where they would be statistically, right? Yeah, Equilibrium dance moves, very much so. Yeah, if you haven't seen Equilibrium, you need do yourself a favor and watch that flick. Yeah, I wish Kurt Weimer, Kurt something. Yeah, Hollywood did him wrong, and he's not making any more movies. It's just, I hate that. The sci-fi series The Magicians had several episodes based on dancing and singing. I did not know that. I never finished watching that show. I got like 3 episodes in, and I liked it. I just never sat down to do it. Yeah, when I hear this is, I love Spiral, such a weird character. Yeah, yeah. Let's see if I could find. Let's find Spiral in here. Let's get some images. There we go. There's Spiral. Marvel superhero character. A Marvel villain. I think she's been, they kind of draw her kind of sexy and stuff like that. So I think she's vacillated between hero and villain. That always happens. You get a good villain, everybody seems to want to make this character um, into a hero, a protagonist, and such. Is that cosplaying? Did someone cosplay the? Because she has a mechanical arm because one of her arms was take. Oh, Amazon. Wow, I did not. Well, I never looked it up. Did not know that. I did not know that. And there's a Facebook cosplay image of someone doing. Anyway, okay, let's get back into this. Mm-mm-mm. Let's see. Mm. Would be interesting if the magic in some instances could be derived by sacrifice, but the method is by uncontrolled dancing to death instead of beheading or cutting out the heart or something. Now see that's interesting too. That this cult seemingly innocuous. Oh, we just have people dancing, and eventually it becomes uncontrolled. And as each person starts to pass out, it starts to complete the ritual. I like that. I like that a lot. It's not even like because the classic thing is you have to have a blood soaked altar, human sacrifice, blah blah blah. Right? That's very common amongst fantasy. But dancing till you dance to death, I like it. What if you dance so much that you see the person collapse and their tortured spirit comes out of their body, and they each person that collapsed becomes yet one more enemy on the battlefield of like some kind of a dancing rhythmic ghost that tries to possess a PC to make them dance to have them die. Yeah. Yeah, Drew says day 7 when Shiva stomped on the world and danced to destroy it. Yeah. Jazz hands. Hey, Mufa. We'll just have 8 days a week. Creations of the day, yeah. Jazz hands. You gotta have some jazz hands. Yeah, jazz hands. Ja, ja, ja. Hands could be like bird wings. Oh yeah, what we've seen a ton of that stuff. Slam dancing, yes, yes. Or a ranger could base their magic around the mating dances of animals. I love that. I love that idea. Slam dancing, yep. Um, hey, druid, you want to learn? y- If you want to learn a new animal shape to wild shape into, you must learn its movements, and maybe the learning of the new movements begins with how to move and dance like them until you can. I don't know what a T-Rex dance would look like, but I can imagine it. You tuck your arms out here. Let's see the T-Rex dance. Let's see if we could do this. So you tuck your arms down into the t-shirt, and then you're just like that's embarrassing. Thomas Anderson says, "Yeah, I was going to say on the headbutting there is moshing, so guess some humans would love to have dances with smashing antlers and each other's skulls together. Maybe we already do that. Mosh pitting. There's a movie called Rise, and in the movie Rise involved Rize movie, and in let's see if we can do this. There we go. Want to share this out. So uh, what would you call this? I guess it's a documentary. Anyway, there's a movie called Rise, Rize, and it is a documentary about the rise of the dance style, which is um 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 man, my brain just my brain just farted. Um, anyway, it's about a street dance style, and it goes back into crumping. Jesus, my brain. And there's different types of crumping, and it even goes back as far as African ecstatic rhythmic dancing, where the movements are today we have practice movements, but at the time that it was created, it didn't have practice movements, and it was allowing the body to express itself. And Rise is pretty good because it even goes back. It even um, touches on religious ecstaticisms. Touches in ancient things, and even there's even a part in it where they even show video of ancient cultures where you have people dancing, and then it's like a battle. It's like, hey, I'm gonna pull you in and let you get loose. And it's like it's both a battle, a challenge, and also an embracing of join us in this thing to allow you to express yourself. And when you do so, everyone is like drawn into it. And it's really cool, really cool movie. um, Drew says, personally, I don't think dance is based on mating rituals, but it is more a form of communication, which then gets used by many species to communicate about mating. So okay, I get that. And I mean, wouldn't it be cool if a player character or player characters learn um, they there's been enemies between two peoples, but they learn a dance that appeases the other side. Like, oh, you learned. Hey, how did you learn that? That's only the ancients of blah blah blah. It's like if you learn that dance to communicate with somebody else, and we see that in storytelling, right? The two people shouldn't be together, and then one person gets on the dance floor, the other gets on the dance floor. They, the euphemism starts to begin, right? They start to dance together and they blend together. Um, Very often, when two peoples that can't even communicate together, what happens? We have food exchanged and given, and then we have performative dance, whether that dance is by a storyteller around a fire, dressed in outfits and throwing chemicals and powders into the fire to make smoke and colorful flames, and people dancing to show like the killing of the wildebeest or something. Or it could be more intricate, like ballet, where people gather together and there's specific movement, like clap. music like classical music that's performed specifically and was in a specific manner, and ballet dancing, which is each movement must be mastered, and then those movements are combined together to watch the person. I mean, if you just take ballet dancing and other types of dance, ballet dancers very much destroy their feet, and to get on that point, to get on the very tip of their toe. Something similar, if not identical, could be done in fantasy, where people are mastering something to the point where their body is contorted or damaged. They suffer harm simply by mastering a thing. When I hear this, is oh shit! I can't believe I forgot this. Ever heard of Tininkling? It's a Filipino thing where the dancer dances around two boards being banged together. Okay, Tini. Can I? I can't capture it. Okay, Tininkling. Let's see. Let's get you out of here. Um, Up. Here we go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Yes, I've seen this before. Yes, it's the people are dancing, and there's these like bamboo or rods that are slammed together in it's a rhythmic song essentially, and the person has to dance inside and outside of these bars. But could you imagine player characters' ankles getting smashed in them because they're trying to do the dance? And it got these young people, young, seemingly zero level people going like, "You guys are just maybe if you take the plate mail armor off, it wouldn't hurt so much." Paladin's like, "How are they hurting my ankles? I'm in plate mail +3." Yeah, 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 yeah. Absolutely, I love it. I love it. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, there it is. To Ninkling. That's the hey, thank you very much there, Heathen. Vince says in a Jackie Chan movie, he learned some martial art moves by his master leaving him chalk footprints on the floor to retrace. Would be cool to learn an ancient dance that way. There is a series of books. Let's see, called the Matador series. The Matador series. 97 steps. And here we go, share this. So there's a book series by what's the person's name? Steve Perry? Yep, Steve Perry. Not the singer. Um and I believe there's 10 books in the series, 10 books, 11, something like that. Anyway, the Matador series, let's see if we can go to one of these. The Matador series involves something known as the 97th step, and it's a sci-fi futuristic series of martial artists, and there are 97 steps, 1 through 97, that you must learn to walk the steps. And the very beginning steps, you can go like, oh, okay, I can get to it. But then you must have to run, jump, leap, and move your body in a method to learn each of the steps. And by mastering the 97 steps, you learn all these different martial arts moves. It's a pretty good series. The books aren't very long. Um, there it is. Let's see if someone could put this in here. Yeah, to those of you who have read Steve Perry's 97th Step, The Man Who Never Missed, Musashi Flex, Matadora, and the Albino Knife, and know something about real world martial arts, and GURPS martial arts, how would you classify the martial arts of the 97th Step? And then they talk about GURPS. Yeah, I would say the 97 steps is not a style. Instead, it's training for trained by a master. Prerequisites include like judo, karate, philosophy. Yep, yep, yep. You very much. And in one of the back of one of the books, there it is. I found it. All right. So in the back of the 97th step, and these are the names of some of these martial maneuvers by learning this 97 step dance, which is very much described as a dance. So there's a you'll In the back of the 97th step, you will find a listing for the 19 dances or kata of the Sumito, which is what is technically called Sumito. The Thousand Click Journey, The Flower Unfolding, Dark Shroud, Twisted Star, Snake and Spider, Magician's Hands, Cold Fire Burns Bright, Helicopter, Laughing Stone, Fleur de Lance, Bamboo Pond, Arc of Air, The Braided Laser, Sword of the Sun, The Neon Chain, The Vacuum Cage, Steel Circle, Spiral, and last, Mimosa Sleeps Softly. In the books, a number of these, perhaps all dances or katas, are used in combat. All have different effects. So an argument could be made that some or all of them are maneuvers out of GURPS martial arts, just renamed within the style so they sound cool. Yep, and the way it's described in the book is it's not described at all. So they don't tell you they've got the name, but they don't really tell you what the they don't tell you what it looks like, so you have to interpret it in your head. It's pretty cool. Mm, yeah. When I hear this, says the Saudi just shake their swords and only men can do their sword dancing. Hey there, Wasavelli. Hey Don, what's going on? Mufa says, was capoeira mentioned? A little bit. It was mentioned a little bit, but yes, it is extremely dance rhythmic related, a hidden martial art within a dance, which is kind of cool. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Capoeira was mentioned. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon made a great stage performance with lots of dancing. Yes. Um, I absolutely agree with that. Yeah, and I don't remember the scene. I have to be reminded of something. Vince says the notion that the fighter of the party suddenly starts dancing in the great ballroom scene and absolutely kills it makes me smile. Yeah, the one character that's like everyone's like the bard should do it. No, 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 no. Let the fighter do it. And the fighter starts. The fighter closes his eyes and goes, "This, I am so scared, sweat pouring down it. I'm going to be embarrassed." And like, look, listen, just reenact the great battle. That's all you have to do. Draw your weapons and reenact it on the dance floor. And suddenly just closes their eyes and um does a sucker punch type of dance and stuff, and then opens their eyes and everyone starts like standing to their feet, clapping their hands, and the fighter's like, what did I just do? When I Heathen says, yeah, the Scottish are smart about their sword dances. They put their sword on the ground and dance around it. Yeah. Hey, listen, who knows who's to say that the beginning dancer that didn't happen with them poking somebody's eye out? Mm-mm-mm. Mm, I don't remember. TA talks about what was that TV show that was taking so many ideas from the Chronicles of Narnia that it was amazing they were not sued for it, and from other tropes too. Had some aspects like Harry Potter's magic schools, super dark when you got right down to I don't know. Oh, what's the spinning whirling dervish? There we go. The whirling dervishes. Yeah, 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 yeah. Again, a kind of a whirling, ecstatic type of. There's a lot of dance related. Now that I think about it, there's a lot of dance related to faith and religion, more than a little bit. Twerk. Holy shit. Oh man, somatic components. Now you gotta twerk for your fireball. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Gotta do that bit of it worth it. Oh shit. Now where does the fireball come from? Cause hey, if you twerk really good, it can get kind of hot. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah. That's funny. Equilibrium is a great movie. Oh, absolutely. Drew says Equilibrium has scenes that were filmed in Berlin mostly because of the architecture. Yes, it was. Very and of course with all the light and shadows, it's kind of brutalistic. But yeah, Equilibrium. Mm-mm-mm. Magicians is on Netflix. Thank you there, Dead Man, because I'm gotta finish watching that freaking show. Never have enough time. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, also makes the point that mechanics and rules are there to serve the players, to make the game fun for the players, not to force the players to do things. Exactly, exactly. So, guys, oh, and of course we have to do shit. And of course we have to we bring up we have to bring up capoeira. Let's see. I'll put this in images. There we go. And we can't forget this. We can't forget capoeira, where it's the one of probably, I'm sure there's many more, but a number of rhythmic dancing, martial arts things that are put into uh you know into these very acrobatic maneuvers and such. Um, you have to have such a great control over your center of gravity and such. I mean, one-handed handstands off kilter to the side, the balancing effects and things like that. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. The once secret Brazilian martial art combining acrobatics, dance, and music, which I believe now is historical. Oh, Cress is got to hit the sack again. No problem. We're getting out of here right now. Drew says, Religio for breakfast made a while ago a video about the connection between religion and dancing. I never really even, it wasn't until now that I even thought about. I mean, I don't. You guys know I'm a person who I love to absorb knowledge and keep an open mind and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's right. Religion for Breakfast is a great channel, so let's talk religion. Yeah, there's power in music and dance and mass. Even though it's not a dance specifically, the marching of Nazis caused the bridge to fall due to the prisoner march shaking the bridge apart. Ooh, dance, cat, dance. Never like leaving the show, but need to get up tomorrow. Good night, everyone. And now, um, that's going to take us out here, guys. So yeah, the walls of Jericho being brought down by stomping and horn blasts. You know what? Hey, that magic, that shatter spell, that earthquake spell, very much could be like a stomping of effect. Um, a a community of people could have access to magic in your fantasy realm by dancing and music and the singing and things like that. Like, hey, it requires 40, at least 47 people. I don't know why I thought of 47. Maybe I was thinking of 47 Ronin. But yeah, hey, guess what? It takes to cast an eighth level spell for this community, it takes 8 times 5. What is it, like 40 people or something to perform this dance in a specific manner, in a specific thing, like the cult idea you guys were talking about. People dancing until they pass out and the thing happens, or people dancing and the dance could be transformative. Of the snake dance causes someone or many of the members to turn into snakes or naga or whatever the case might be, yuan ti or something. Um, why do the people do the snake dance? Because the yuan ti out in the swamp don't hurt them. It's a dance of honor, a dance of respect, or hell, a dance done out of fear even. Yeah, you have a good one. Yep. 8 is the number of corn. All right, guys, thank you very much for being part of the show. Tomorrow, we're going to do the day of the podium. So we've been doing not just entertainment, but the expressionist week. So we did dance, we did music, but we also did gladiatory arena competition. But tomorrow we're going to do the day of the podium. And this is where I feel like bards have been moved away from, and I think it fully falls into. And tomorrow won't be so much entertainment, but it's going to be talking to the masses, being expressing oneself in a public forum. And it may not necessarily be artistic. It could be to cause rebellion, to give knowledge about news. It could be an evil regime telling people here are the rules you shouldn't break, and much more. The day of the podium, someone stepping up to become a leader or a figurehead or a mouthpiece or anything in between. Someone doing poetry, open word speaking, like rap artists or something, or someone speaking in haiku. Um, Of course, we have people who are charming and things like that. So yeah, we're going to do that tomorrow. And Drew says, can highly recommend that channel, even though I'm atheist myself. It looks at many religions in interesting ways. I'm I'm still agnostic, but yes, I love people who are open-minded and free about their beliefs, even to let other people into what they're thinking, how they perform it, what their intentions are in their beliefs and things like that. So yes, even so I'm not anti-religion. I'm anti like harmful or open-mindedness. I love people that open their minds to things and are able to challenge their own beliefs in that, even if they do have those same beliefs and stuff. So I'm kind of with you, Drew. I'm halfway there. Time to do the hump. The dance, do the hump. Sexy baby. Humpty hump. Do the humpty hump. Sexy baby. See ya.